Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of In Their Shoes. And today we have a very special guest. Why special? Because we have a lot of friends in the medical field, but she's the only one I know who is a veterinarian. So let's welcome together Dr. Avanti Ghanekar. Hi doctor, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I am good, how are you?
I'm good too. Thank you for inviting me to your platform. Like you said, there aren't a lot of vets, and a lot of people know other vets personally. So this is a very good platform for us to let the world know about the kind of work that we do on an everyday basis. Thank you so much.
Actually, thanks a lot for giving us this opportunity to interview you because you have a lot of things to share. So let's get started.
Yes.
Yeah. So the other day we were talking and you told me that you were very scared of pets. So how did you land up in this field? What pushed you towards it?
So I was extremely scared of any dog, any cat, any animal actually when I was growing up because I had no interaction whatsoever when I was growing up with them. But I was 11 years old and my sister was 18 and she
Mm.
wanted a dog as her 18th birthday gift. And that's when my parents obliged and we brought home our first pet, which was a fawn colored Labrador called Bruno. He was very small. He was about 2 months old, this tiny, no teeth, very harmless. But the night he came home, I was extremely scared to even go anywhere next to him because I was sure he was going to bite me. I was that scared. But growing up with him, I basically grew up with him. Seeing a completely different side of animals, seeing how loving they are, how harmless they are, how beautifully selfless their compassion can be, it made me fall in love with them. And eventually, I started interacting with more cats, more dogs, more animals, and that's how I fell in love with them. And I just knew, it just clicked that this was what I was meant to be doing with my life. I knew I had to be a vet. I knew I wanted to work with them, wanted to spend my entire time with them. And no other profession held as much glamour for me as veterinary did for this sole reason. So whatever I am is because of him.
Yeah, thanks to your sister and Bruno.
Yes, both of them.
Yeah, both of them. They made a special version out of you. So I, even
Yeah.
I guess we all would like to thank them. So moving forward, you graduated last year and you were studying in Mumbai Veterinary College. That's the only college in the city. Does the number bother you? Which leads me to my next question. Aren't there enough, or are they not? Are there not enough vets in the city?
Based on the number of colleges in a particular city, that's a very official thing that is completely in the hands of our university, which is the Maharashtra Animal and Fishery Sciences University of Nagpur or MAFSU. But talking on an unofficial basis, like you said, you also don't know a lot of veterinarians.
Yeah.
And when I was trying to get admitted in Mumbai Veterinary College, my entire school life, my 11th and 12th grade, my classes, I knew nobody who wanted to pursue veterinary apart from me. So maybe in out of 1,000, you can see what the percentage is. It's extremely minute. So based on that demand, I think one college is enough because like it's not like engineering or dentistry or MBBS where you have that much demand. So you can't open up 3 or 4 colleges and have them empty. But the demand did increase. So when I joined in 2014 and
Mm.
our batch only had about 70 to 80 students. But when I was in my third year, our college completely changed the admission system because the demand increased. So they increased the intake. There were about 125 to 130 new students coming in per batch. So that's a lot of increase. So our university is coping with this increased demand. But I think one college is enough. Now, talking about whether or not there are enough vets in the city, um, there have always been enough vets. The thing is, now in the past 5 to 6 years, I think the demand for veterinary services has increased because more people are inclined towards keeping pets. That's not just dogs and cats, that's your hamsters, your guinea pigs, your birds, your turtles as well. So, as and when people start keeping more pets, they need more medical services for them. And that's where we come in the picture. So the demand is continuously increasing, not just in India, but also outside India. So anyone who's watching and wants to pursue veterinary, this is a very good field because we'll always need more pets.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So now you guys have this compulsory training period in your curriculum, a 6 months training period, which is as good as an internship. Uh, Along with that, you also did an internship in the year in your fourth year. So when would you suggest the students to ideally start interning?
As soon as they can. I began in fourth year, and I
Hmm.
learned a lot. It's a private internship. It's not compulsory um, from the college point of view, but it's mostly so that you learn more on your own.
Hmm.
I did learn in the 2 years that I joined, but I would recommend that if you enter veterinary school, the minute you enter, just start going to private clinics because you get a head start. You have 5 years to learn what is happening in private clinics. And
Hmm.
of course, you also learn in college, but with so many students surrounding one patient, you can't do everything on your own. So what you can learn outside on your own is completely different. I would suggest that probably your first year or second year, as soon as you can, just start going to private clinics, start learning, so that when you start your professional career, when you start working, you know much more than what you just normally would only attending college.
Okay. Okay. So start as soon as possible. Okay. And now you're doing a job in a clinic at a clinic in Andheri. What few tips or nuggets would you like to give to the students before getting a job?
Um, I have only been working for about 7 months, so I am not in a very good position to be giving tips to people. But one tip that something that I have been struggling with, and I would like to tell people is we can get easily overwhelmed when we leave the safe routes of our college and enter the real world and start working in veterinary clinics. We have
Mm.
no idea about the kind of patients, the kind of patient load, the kind of emergencies that we will be seeing on a daily basis, and that can scare any person. It's a lot of things to take in at a time.
Okay.
All I would say is college, and if you've done other internships, have prepared you, but you need to keep learning. You need to keep studying, reading new stuff every single day. And when you start on your job, you will learn things as you go along. But one thing you need to know is you cannot expect to be an expert the minute you enter. Nobody is. And that's why it gets that overwhelming. But if you have a very good support from your co-workers, if you have a very good working environment, your work just becomes a little better. And that way I think I'm extremely lucky because my working environment and my peers are extremely helpful. Every time I am lost, I know I can easily ask them for help, and I won't feel like they don't help me, or that I haven't learned anything in college. So whatever you do, just remember that you do know enough to be in that place, but you need to keep updating your knowledge every day.
Okay. So after graduation, you immediately went and took a job. That is one of the that is one of the opportunities you guys have. But along with that, you have the opportunity of going for masters, going abroad. Could you talk more about it?
So I think the best part about veterinary is during these 5 years, I have seen a lot of my friends as well get confused about the kind of things that they wanted to do. They joined in thinking that they would practice, and then in I think third or fourth year, they decided they didn't want to practice anymore. But the good news is there are a lot of avenues for people to pursue after their bachelor's degree. You
Okay.
can work in private practice like I have. You have government jobs where they send you to particular towns or villages where you head that veterinary clinic of that town, and you're the main veterinarian. You deal with a lot of different animals there. So from dogs and cats to large animals like horses, cattle, buffalo. You can go into something which is known as the RVC, or the Remount Veterinary Corps. It's the veterinary unit of the Indian Army, but that's only open to male candidates as of today. Females cannot apply. Hopefully, this changes in the future because females are everywhere now, and it is about
I
time that we go and treat the animals that help our nation.
I
Another thing is you can always go for your masters. That's not something that I wanted. But there are a lot of different, obviously, specializations that you can get into. You can go into research, and a lot of labs, even outside of India, are looking for researchers. So if you decide that, you have a very good scope outside India as well. Another thing is you can become a horse veterinarian, which is it's a very demanding job, and lucky for you, there's also a lot of demand for that. So there are a lot of stud farms in and around Mumbai as well that need equine veterinarians. There's the race course, and they always need vets to take care of their amazing race horses. So this is just about practice, but there is also something known as non-clinical subjects where you can get into pharmaceutical companies. You can a lot of people get MBAs after their veterinary and they get into managemental positions in these companies. So that's one thing you can do. There are pathology labs. There are specific veterinary pathology labs that are coming up now. Initially, I think even 5 or 6 years back, we had to submit our samples to human pathology labs. We still do that, but there are some up and coming only veterinary pathology labs, which is a great thing. So there are a lot of different specialization options, hundreds of them. It's really hard to explain everything, but as I said before, I stand by my opinion that this is a very beautiful field, extremely versatile, and not just practice, but you have a million different avenues. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, it was very informative, whatever you said, especially the MBA part. I could have never imagined someone pursuing veterinary and then going for management. Now that was quite different. Thanks a lot for that. Moving on, you have been into the job since 7 months, and you were also interning. Now, treating animal must have been a different experience. Could you talk more about this experience, and also could you tell us more about how these animals have improved you, or what did you learn from these animals?
Um, So when we enter into this field, this has been my opinion, and a lot of people that I've spoken with have had the same experience. We always think that we are going to be treating just dogs or just cats or small cute animals, and probably we'll have a lot of puppies and kittens coming in for vaccinations or health checkups. And we are in this fantasy land where we think we'll have a lot of time playing with these animals when we treat them. But that is maybe just 1% of the cases are that. A lot of cases are what we regularly see are probably maggot wounds, road accidents. A lot of these dogs and cats that come in extremely sorry conditions and sorry states, and it's really hard for someone who's an animal lover to look at that animal. But what I have learned over the past year, if you say now, ever since my college internship and my job, what I have learned from being 1 year in practice now, I have learned that if you need to be a good veterinarian, you have to be an animal lover. I mean, that's required, yes. But there's a very fine line when it comes to treating animals. And you need to realize that when you're in a room with an animal and that animal is completely in your hands, the survival of that animal is in your hands, you you have to make that distinction. You have to realize that you are a doctor first and an animal lover second. You have to keep your feelings aside, because if you love, of course we all love animals, that's why we come into this field. But if you feel sorry for that animal, or if you let your feelings overpower your job, you can't treat an animal, because we have to poke these animals, their blood, we have to do a lot of things that fine, they don't hurt them that much, but they still hurt them. Even we, when we get an injection or when we get our blood drawn, it's not a very high threshold of pain, but we still feel something. And that's the same with animals. So it's really hard treating animals, but you need to realize that you are a doctor first. You have the strength to treat animals. That's what I have realized. I've realized that they have actually taught me how strong I am and how capable I am of treating animals. And it gives me immense joy when I see such animals and I see them improve, and I know that I have played a part in their life. I'm sorry, what was your second question?
Oh, what have animals taught you?
That again is the answer is quite big. Every animal is different, every patient is different. You can have one dog coming in with one problem, and you can have another dog coming in with the same problem, but both these animals will react differently to everything that we are doing. They will, the way they show pain or the way they show any emotion is different. It matters from animal to animal. But again, what I have learned from them is I always knew how selfless they were when it came to love, but I never knew how strong they were. We've seen so many patients, like this single patient coming in multiple times for the same problem, and in a very bad condition, so had to be hospitalized, has been in the hospital for about maybe 3 days, then 5 days, and even patients who've been with us for a month in really bad conditions where we knew that nothing could happen, but they have bounced back. They have completely, like we had no expectations, but they have completely shattered our expectations and bounced back, because that is how strongly they want to go back to their owners. That is the kind of love that they have for their owners, and they just want to live for the owners. And this strength, this everything that they do, just the emotions also that they show, it's beautiful. You can't really quantify what they teach you, because it's hard. It's really hard. You have to be there. And like I told you, every day is a challenge. Every day you meet different animals and they teach you different things. It
Right.
just, one thing that I would say, and if you ask me in a sentence, is that treating animals makes you a better person, is what I.
Okay. That is true. I agree. That is true. Also, you were saying that you are a doctor first, so you can't get emotional. This reminds me of Baman Irani from Munna Bhai MBBS, where he says you can't get emotional with the patient. You're a doctor. You're there for treatment. Something on that lines. And
You see that in movies or you read that in books, and you don't
yeah,
really understand the
yeah,
depth of it, but when you're in that situation you realize how true those words are.
yeah,
And
and
I would like to add one more thing.
yeah, yeah,
Say that you need to keep your emotions away, but a lot of times, I don't know if people know this, but a lot of times, now I am talking only about dogs and cats because that's what I work with, but we've had
yeah.
a lot of patients which have been in the last stages of their lives, and we knew that they would not pull through, and we give the owners the option of euthanasia, which is mercy killing, or just putting them to sleep peacefully so that they don't suffer anymore. And that
Mm-hmm.
is something that we do on a regular basis. We see a lot of people, a lot of patients who are coming with really bad prognosis, and we have to put them down. And it's something that this is one leading cause of depression within our community, because this is a worldwide problem. This happens to every single vet. No matter how many patients you put down, it is a different experience and an equally harrowing experience every single time, because you love that animal. Even if he's not your pet, he's an animal. You know what he's capable of, and you have to put him to sleep, which is a very difficult thing. But there are certain times where our emotions overpower us in situations like these. So it's a very difficult field. People don't, like I told you, people always think it's playing with animals, or treating them and letting them go home. But this is one, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say bad, but a very difficult aspect of being a veterinarian, where
Yes.
sometimes your feelings just come in the picture, and you need to know that you have to control your feelings, especially in front of the patients, or even for your mental health. You need to be strong. That's one
Right.
thing that people don't really know about.
Yeah. Being a doctor, you need to be mentally strong. Yes. Also, is that one of the major hurdles caused in this career?
There are a lot of hurdles in this career, but yeah, I would say it is. Not everyone reacts to euthanasia in a similar way. Everyone reacts differently, so how it takes a mental toll on you is different with every person. It can be qualified as a hurdle. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. It was quite eye opening for me, and I'm pretty sure for a lot of people. So
Have a
you.
personal experience with that, because we actually put Bruno also to sleep. He had some liver and kidney issues, so that's something I feel very personally about. So I know how hard it is for a doctor to go through that.
Yeah, right. So hats off to you guys, man. You guys are heroes already. And whatever we are seeing in
I
the
would
world
say that
today,
all the veterinarians are superheroes, and what
yeah,
they do is a very difficult task. And I am one veterinarian, but I am constantly in awe of every other veterinarian for the kind of work that they do.
I-
That's yes.
you know what? I really hate that this interview won't be too long because there are too many things to share and too many things to talk about. But
Right.
we'll have to go move ahead, which I don't really want to because a lot of things to share. But so
We can do a part two.
we'll do a part two. Definitely, we'll do a part two. So, so moving ahead, you told us what animals taught you, what your journey taught you. Um, do you have any message for animal lovers out there?
Oh, um, I think animal lovers are the cream of the crop. They are as good as any person can get. what you guys do on a daily basis, the kind of love that you show for these animals, the kind of service that you do for these helpless animals. I know personally, I know a lot of NGOs and a lot of people not even affiliated to the NGOs, but on their own, they're feeding like 50, 60 dogs and cats a day, or in the villages also they're taking care of cattle and buffaloes, or they are just even keeping a single small bowl of water out for birds right now in this heat is such a big deal. It changes, it costs, it's a big deal for them. And
Yeah.
all I would say to animal lovers is you guys are doing a very, very good job. Everything that you do makes me sleep peacefully at night, knowing that there are a lot of people who care for strays outside, and at least people will be careful now, so we don't have to see a lot of dogs and cats in sorry conditions coming to us because people have been reckless.
Right.
Everything that you do is wonderful. You guys are, you cannot be doing a better service, because these, like, animals cannot speak, they cannot talk. The only thing that they can give you is unconditional love. And to feel that, to experience that, you have to be a good person before, and to help them is just, it's the most beautiful thing. So whatever you're doing, any small thing, whether you're feeding like 50 animals or you're keeping a single bowl out for birds, any small thing that you can do is, it's a collective effort, and it's helping everybody, apart from the humans in this, in this world. So keep doing it. You guys are doing a wonderful job, and seriously, you guys are, I mean, I have no words. You guys are just the best. There is, I don't think,
Yeah.
I respect animal lover because, like I told you, if a dog or a cat loves you, that's the highest level of, that's how good you are. Because if a dog loves you, I have no problem trusting that person, because I know from personal experience that it's, dogs and cats understand who good people are, and they love them unconditionally because of that. So whatever you're doing, I know you're a good person, and please continue this, because you're doing a service not only to these animals, to also us vets, and to other people who are not veterinarians but are taking care of these animals, or these NGOs, and it's helping everybody when you show a little compassion, and you're just that much more careful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You guys are awesome. Also, this animal love, this whole topic of animal lovers brings me to the next question. Uh, a lot of people go and buy animals, and there are a lot of pets available for adoption, and they don't do that. What is your opinion about it? What would you like to say?
Opinion is, I staunchly believe that you always should adopt and not buy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are a lot of reasons for this. Speaking from a medical point of view, we've seen a lot of, say, Labradors or German Shepherds coming in with very bad hips because of inbreeding. So these breeders, they keep breeding the same mother and father, and they keep getting a lot of litters, and they keep selling these litters. That causes a lot of inbreeding, which causes a lot of medical problems. We've seen genetic issues that certain animals are born with, and they live a very short life because of that, and that's not their fault. They are born with it because of something that we humans have done. Or we see a lot of these hip issues that can easily be avoided with avoiding inbreeding, but that's not what breeders understand. So it's very difficult for us to see these animals because they're suffering because of something that's not their fault. I strongly support adoption because there are a million animals out there who need a home. You see so many animals on the streets as well. They need homes. And one more thing I would like to add is, we all love breed animals, yes, but we've never seen animals as magnificent as our normal indie breeds. They are so resilient, they are disease resistant, they are so strong, they don't fall sick, they can digest anything that you give them. You have no issues when you adopt a stray dog or an indie dog because they are built to be surviving in these conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Street dogs, we always see them in the clinics, but stray dogs, they are extremely strong. So whatever you do, try adopting an indie dog because they need homes. And
Right.
even if you need a breed dog, I don't understand people how they just abandon these breed dogs as well. They take these dogs or cats and they realize that they can't care for them and they just abandon them. So even
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking for a breed animal, you will find them when you go for adoptions. People are just, they're doing anything right now. So whatever you need an indie dog, you need a Labrador, you need a Persian cat, you need anything, just try contacting NGOs that are in the adoption business, because I'm sure you'll find the animal that you require.
Okay.
So please adopt. Please don't support this
Right.
breeding industry, because we've seen what happens to them and it's not a very happy sight.
Right. Right. True. True. So yes, guys, please prefer adoption over going and buying a pet for yourself. Um, Also, the you talked about abandonment and whatever is happening in the world right now. Yesterday, I was talking to my mother, and she told me a lot of pet owners have abandoned their pets. Do you have anything to say to the people who own a pet? Any message to give to message to these people?
Yes. Firstly, we've seen a lot of people gifting pets. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's your friend's birthday, or your someone in the family has a birthday or some anniversary, and you give them a dog or a cat, which is extremely wrong, because you don't even know if that other person wants the animal or whether he's going to care for it. And it's not an inanimate object that you can just keep in one corner and forget. It's a living being. You have to take care of him. And even if you say the minimum, maybe 10 years, whatever dog and cat, breed, non-breed, whatever you have, say minimum 10 years that animal lives, you have to give your 10 years to that animal. And you can't, there is something known as human treatment of animal, and you have to constantly, they are like little babies, they don't grow up, they don't do things on their own, you have to take care of them. So it's
Mm-hmm.
extremely difficult when people don't want certain pets and they just get them as a gift, and that is one cause of abandonment. Second is people don't weigh all the pros and cons before they decide to go and adopt or buy an animal. They don't know how hard it is going to be, how they'll have to always take them out for walks, the medical expenses, the vaccinations. There are a lot of things that people don't know about. So one thing that we really suggest is, if you decide to get an animal, get a pet, please visit your local vet first and talk to them about what are the things that you need to take, the precautions that you need to take before you bring the pet home, the kind of care that you need to take when you bring that pet home. Your vet, your local vet, will give you all the information about it. So either the first consult is bring your puppy or your kitten in and talk to us, or best is before you get a pet, just to weigh the pros and cons, bring him, come to the clinic, talk to us so that we can explain. Because there are a lot of people out there who are not veterinarians, and they spread a lot of myths, and they tell you it's really easy, or they spread a lot of misinformation, which is not good. So just come talk to people who actually know about this, and then decide if you want to actually invest. And this is an investment. It takes a lot of efforts to raise pets. It's not an easy job. So I would just like to tell everybody who wants a pet, just it's a most fulfilling experience to own a pet, because I'm sure if you have never had a pet, I can guarantee that that animal will change your life. But just be ready to take care of the animal and talk to people who know about it.
Right. Yeah. So before adopting or getting a pet, you should consult a lot of people because it is a huge responsibility, a worthy, but
Talk to people who have pets. Don't talk to just random people.
yeah,
Talk to people
yeah.
how
Yeah,
it is like to, yeah.
that's yeah, yeah. So thank you for sharing this and for sharing this with us. So before ending this interview, I would like to ask you: do you have any advice to give to the young kids who want to pursue this field, or to the young graduates, or to anyone for that matter?
uh, so this was my experience. Like I told you, I was interested solely in cats and dogs. And when I entered veterinary school, I had this whole notion where I thought I would learn a lot about dogs and cats, so that when I became a doctor, I would know everything about them.
Mm-hmm.
But our curriculum in India is extremely different. We are an agrarian country, so our basic concentration when it comes to whatever we are learning in college is only on cattle and large animals, or it's basically from the point of view of helping our economy and our agriculture. So I know a lot of my friends from college or my peers who had only interests in say particularly wildlife, or just birds, or just exotics, or just dogs and cats. And you come to college with this thought that you will learn about everything, but it's not possible. There are so many species that come under veterinary that you cannot learn everything about everything. So if you want to pursue veterinary, and you know that you want to do something apart from large animals, it's completely on you. Like I told you, start going to clinics that particularly cater to only the species that you're interested in, so that you learn more about it. It's all on you. Whatever you do, whatever you want to specialize in, you have to go out and do it. The one advice that's one advice that I wish someone had given me, because I entered with a very naive mind. I didn't know anything, and this was like a shock to me that we don't learn more about dogs and cats. So
Yeah.
if you have particular interest areas, know that college will not teach you everything about it. It's all on you. You decide on whether or not you become a good vet by the, like I told you, the amount of extra studying that you do. So that's my advice. Keep an open mind. Even if you don't know what you're interested in, maybe in the 5 years you'll learn what you're interested in. But make sure that you don't depend only on college. It's your responsibility more than what the college is responsible for.
Okay. So kids, take a note because this is definitely going to be, of course, it's going to be useful. So, considering what is going in the world right now, we are facing a pandemic. What advice do you have to the pet owners? How to take care of them? How to deal with them?
Um, So this corona pandemic that's been happening, it's affecting only humans. There have been some case reports where there was a lion in the New York Zoo, lion or tiger, and there have been 2 dogs in Hong Kong who were tested positive for COVID-19, but
Mm-hmm.
they have not shown symptoms. So when I talk about dogs particularly, these dogs were kept in quarantine for 14 days, and after the quarantine, they did not show any symptoms. So we are still not sure about how this virus is affecting animals.
Mm-hmm.
But there is one thing that we know is that animals are not spreading this virus to other humans. You can
Okay.
only get this from a particular person to another person, not from your pets. So, like we spoke about abandonment before, there have been incidents where people are abandoning their pets because they think that these pets will give them coronavirus, which is the biggest myth, and it's causing a lot of problem to these animals because it's not true. They do not. We are still not sure if they carry this virus or if they get it from us and they can just be asymptomatic, or just like I told you, carriers, because they are not showing symptoms of corona. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing that we as vets know for sure is that you cannot contact this disease from your pets. So, of course, take care of yourself when you go out for walks and all. Wear your gloves and be protected. But you don't need to be scared because this is not something that you get from the pets. This is a very common complaint or question that we have been asked
Mm-hmm.
from the start of this year when this virus surfaced. But we can tell you for sure that your pets will not give you this disease.
Okay. So, pet owners, no need to be scared. And if you guys have any doubts regarding this, feel free to talk about it in the comment section because it's a very new thing to all of us, and we understand that you might be facing a huge dilemma. So please feel free to talk to the vet, uh, and drop down any queries you have in the comment section. So thank you, doctor. You have been amazing. And as I said, I hate to end this interview. And we'll definitely have a part two. Also, I would like to mention one thing.
Yes.
Uh, you were saying something?
I was just saying it was a lot of fun for me also to talk to everyone about something that is not something that a lot of people talk about because
Yeah, and thank you, Avanti, because it has been a great interview, and I hate ending this. We'll definitely have a second part of this. Pakka wala. Also, I would like to mention one thing. I was scrolling through your Instagram feeds. Sorry for stalking you, but
that's okay.
and I came across a post where you had captioned it as, if 13-year-old Avanti would have known what I'm doing right now, she would have been proud of me, and that is all that matters to me. And that is so true because you have followed your childhood dream, and it takes a lot of courage to sticking to that field and being passionate about it. It's we don't really meet people like you these days, especially someone who is following their childhood dream. Hats off to you and each and every veterinarian out there. Thank you guys for your service, and thank you, Avanti, for joining us today. Your information and your knowledge has been very valuable, and I hope that we all, and I'm pretty sure we all will benefit from it. Thank you very much. You have anything
Thank
to
you. It's
say?
been a great interview. Yes, it was really fun talking to you and talking about all of these things that a lot of people in general have questions about. and
Mhm.
it was great to just spread this information and spread awareness. So thank you so much for inviting me. It's been
Yeah,
a good interview. Thank you.
thank you. Also, guys, as I said, if you have any queries, please feel free to drop down in the comment section. And if you like the video, please share it with your friends and have a nice day. See you again in the next episode.